a couple more sine and cosine graphs. Again, these all have phase shifts because I think that's the trickiest thing to deal with. Again, left to right. Our amplitude here is 4. It's a sine graph, and I don't see any negatives except for our negative pi over 4. So that means I'm just going to have my normal old sine graph, my normal old wave, up and then down. So that's our sine part of the graph. I see the 1/2 out front, and that's going to give me the period of the function. So I'm going to do 2 pi divided by 1/2. Flip the second and multiply. So the period of my function is 4 pi. So it's going to be a long one. I'm going to go ahead and mark that on my paper here. So it looks like this is broken up into pi over 2. So pi is 2 spaces out. So 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi. That's going to be helpful there. All right. No vertical displacement. I don't see anything on the outside of my function that's going to move it up or down. I do have, and no reflection, we said. I do need to deal with a phase shift. So here's my B, here's my C. I'm going to do C divided by B. So pi over 4 divided by 1/2 is the same as pi over 4 times 2 over 1. 2 pi over 4, which is pi over 2. And since there's a minus in front of it here, that's pi over 2 to the right. Sine starts on our midline. Pi over 2 to the right would be one little box to the right. Again, you can think about, sorry to go back to the phase shift, you can think about that as factoring as well. Think if you take out a 1/2, then I'd have x minus what? So 1/2 times what is going to give me pi over 4, and that would be pi over 2. So I'm not mad about it if you're thinking that about that as factoring as well. It's the same thing. Okay, let's go back to our graphing. So the period of my function was 4 pi. If I'm starting here on my blue dot, going out 4 pi from pi over 2 would be one space past 4 pi. Halfway in between is where I'm going to cross my midline, just using my sketch up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's broken into 8 pieces. Halfway in between is between 2 pi and 3 pi, 2.5 pi. Halfway in between, I'm going to go max. So halfway in between my first two, I have a maximum, and my amplitude's 4, so it's going to be all the way up. And halfway between my second 2 points on my midline, I'm going to have that minimum at -4. It says graph at least one period, so that's one period of our function. Domain here is all reals. Range is -4 to 4. All right.